So, preventive medicine you practice in the sewers. What's that about?
Think. Hear that?
Been hearing it for a while. Draw your weapon.
Excellent.
Yes, it's not far now.
Priscilla. How's it look? Give it to me straight, no sugarcoating.
Her wounds will heal, but it's her voice that concerns me. Surely you understand what a terrible blow that would be to a Trobritz. Enough to strip her of the will to live.
Any remedy for that?
I fear only your friend Dandelion can be of help on that count. Take the ladder. This is the place. Come, the quicker we take care of this, the better.
Why? Got somewhere to be?
Someone might disturb us. The coroner, for example. Or Reverend Nathaniel
Il
Pastodi.
medico legale se ne può benissimo andare a fanculo.
We seek the corpse of a dwarven woodcarver.
Human. Wrong body type. Let's keep looking. Looks like necrophages got to this one.
Ma appena sono quelli là che c'erano a casa di quello là che faceva i quadri, i ritratti.
Calluses on the fingers, sawdust in the beard, clothes sticky with sap. Must be our dwarf.
Excellent.
Tipo è stato mannaia, madonna lì ammazzo.
Not a bit. Start the autopsy.
Where?
Let's look at his head. Hair smells like it's burnt, like he was in a fire.
Notice anything else? That his eyes have been scooped out, for instance?
Questo mi fa pensare a Radovid.
Those burn marks I see in his eye sockets.
Yes, and some grey dust. Ash, it seems, very fine.
Murderer gouged out his eyes, then put burning coals in the sockets.
So it seems.
Mamma mia, ma come fanno?
Looking at the wounds, it appears our woodcarver was still alive when it happened.
Let's examine the mouth. Burns, blisters.
Just like Priscilla's.
See this?
Ma vi
Incision
ammazzo.
made into the voice box.
Indeed, so thin as to be nearly unnoticeable.
A small, extremely sharp instrument. Scalpel.
But why? The wound is too small to bleed, and there are signs of swelling. The murderer... I believe he performed a tracheotomy, so the victim wouldn't die too soon.
Let's examine his torso.
What have we here? Deep wound on the left side of his rib cage, and a scar the length of his stomach.
Let's examine the chest wound. Yeah, heart carved out, wound cauterized.
Wait a minute, there's something else.
An egg from an amphibian. A salamander? Scorched but intact.
I attended some lectures in herpetology as a student. A afraid I don't recall any amphibians that would lay eggs in corpses. So either Professor Cochrane was deeply mistaken, or this is our murderer's doing.
Look at the scar. Wounds long and thin, an incision. But the edges are ragged.
Means nothing. Look, no swelling, no bruises. An old injury, perhaps an accident in the workplace.
Open the abdominal cavity.
Due warning, it will stink of rot.
Once fought a Zoogle up to my waist in sewage, so I doubt... Wait. Smells not rot.
Formaldehyde. A medical novelty. Heavily diluted, it's remarkable at preserving organic tissue. In stronger proportions, it's more destructive than acid.
Explains why there's no smell of decay, and why his throat's scalded.
Esatto. Quindi questo l'acido formaldeide.
Look at his hands. These welts. Rope burns, right? He was tied up.
I'd expect so. No one could sit through such torture unless bound.
Speaking from experience?
Yes, that of a victim. Spent a year in the dungeons of Tretogor. Long story.
Some other time, maybe. See the callus? Our dwarf wore a ring, but someone took it off him. See anything interesting on his legs?
His right foot. The ankle swollen, toenails broken. He clearly kicked something very hard. Right before he kicked the bucket.
Doesn't strike me as the right time for jokes.
Apologies. We surgeons, we've a different sensibility.
And a different sense of humor. His genitals, we ought to inspect those.
I sincerely doubt they bear any relation to the matter.
We'll see. Pull down his trousers and... shit.
Syphilis, actually. Early stages. No sign of diffusion.
Think there could be a connection?
Only as the killer's potential motivation.
All right. Think I know enough.
Enlighten me, please, because I've still no notion what this is about. What the motive might have been.
Allora, ma uno è pazzo, non può fare, non può fare una cosa così. Cioè, è stato un omicidio rituale, che cazzo vuol dire l'omicidio rituale? Una punizione, ma che cosa può aver fatto quello? Cosa può aver fatto?
Sure of one thing. This was punishment.
Even the witch hunters don't engage in this kind of torture. What sin could possibly merit it?
Only the murderer knows that. And it's the key to finding him. Or her.
Infatti è
It's a lead
troppo.
worth following. Any idea what his name was?
Fabian Meyer. And I'm Hubert Reich, the coroner. I've come to perform the autopsy, but I see you've done it for me, Joachim. As always, you interfere where you're neither needed nor wanted. Drag others into trouble in the process. Who is this?
A student. Lifelong learner. Got a couple questions for you.
Very well, speak. But be quick. Reverend Nathaniel has come by for an inspection. He'll be here shortly.
Woodcarver's body. Where was it found? It's important.
Plan to investigate? Exciting. He died in his workshop south of the market square. just beside the gate to Far Corners. That poor Trebirates was attacked there. City's abuzz about it. But the woodcarver, Eustace the corpse collector, brought us the body. You should speak to him. Saw him just around the corner near... Oh, greetings, Your Reverence.
Eccolo.
Who are these people? I believe I made it clear no one's to be allowed in under any circumstances.
You did, but they're friends of the deceased. Here to collect the body.
Out of the question. Show them out at once.
As Your Reverence wishes. Gentlemen, follow me. You shall leave via another route.
Why'd you cover for us?
I was covering my own arse. If Reverend Nathaniel had learned someone had entered the morgue, then cut open a corpse without his permission, I'd be in deep trouble. But you didn't give that a thought, did you, Joachim? As ever. Well, while I don't approve of your willfulness, I also wish to see this murderer hang. So, should I learn anything new related to this case, I will let you know.
Thank you.
Nathaniel. Who is he?
A scoundrel, a rogue, like every man who wears the robes of the Eternal Fire.
Most are scoundrels before they ever put on the robes.
True in his case as well. Before he donned the frock, Nathaniel was a torturer, delighted especially in torturing women. Later, Hierarch Hemmelfart appointed him to oversee the morgue. He deals with the temple guard, supervises cremations, conducts funeral masses in the temple on the Isle, and so forth.
Dream job. Might have told me you know the coroner. We could have skipped the trip through the sewers.
I know him, thus I avoid him. I've said enough on the subject.
Don't aim to press you.
Thank you. I've nothing to hide. It's just an old wound, unhealed as yet. What will you do now?
Plenty of leads. Woodcarver's workshop, the corpse collector who found him, alley where Priscilla was attacked. Got work to do.
As do I. At the hospital. I must return there. But I shall keep my fingers crossed.
And I'll keep my eye on you.
Vediamo ragazzi.
Nowadays, one note, one word's enough to send you to the stake.
Vediamo se sta Nathaniel qua. Peccati carnali. Allora. Intanto cerchiamo Eustace. Vediamo cosa ha da dirci.
Bloody bandits! Can't go out in the streets no more!
You Eustace, the corpse collector?
Aye? How'd you know?
Fourth sense, I think it is. You bring Fabian Meyer's body to the...
Oh, yeah, I remember. No eyes, no heart, one of them, right? No purse neither, as I recall.
One of them? So there have been other bodies like that?
Sure have. Beggars, street urchins, and street walkers. One went so portly, I had to cut her into pieces to fit her in me wheelbarrow. Slippery sow, they called her, on account of her.
Some things are best left unsaid. What happened to the pieces?
What do you mean? Reverend Nathaniel ordered them burned. Every last one. Shame that was.
Shame? Why? Actually, never mind. Another thing that's best left unsaid. You search Fabian's body?
Well, I cast an eye in his pockets. Made sure nothing went to waste.
I call a spade a spade. You rob corpses.
And I call a prick a prick. It's none of your fucking concern. What, you tax collector? Piss off, mutant.
Dai, ma noi ce l'abbiamo persuasione livello 2. Ma...
That hard out for coin? Fine.
Spreco
Have
di
some.
soldi.
Now talk.
Ma perché
What
non
did
ho
you find on
l'abilità
her?
attiva?
Triflings, baubles,
Allora
glass
abbiamo
beaded ring,
Puppet.
handful
Ma
of
forse si
coins,
possono tenere
and a
tutte e due
letter.
assieme.
Look, vellum, quality parchment that. I'll wipe off the writing and sell it as new.
That's human skin. Priscilla. Next victim's name.
Ecco.
If you'd given this to the right person, she might not have been hurt.
What the fuck do I care what happens to some
Che cazzo te
Priscilla?
ne frega?
We sure
Geralt lo
wenches in this
ammazziamo
town.
questo coglione qua. Non ti permettere mai
Oi,
più.
fucking hell, what was that for?
For everything.
Minchia, soldi buttati nel cesso. Soldi presi e buttati nel cesso.
Sold off. Don't know nothing else.
Gods, what happened here? Monsters must
Soldi presi e buttati nel cesso. Non abbiamo concluso un cazzo. Vediamo dove cazzo è stata aggredita. No, ma non mi interessa. Chiunque mi dice di ammazzare il gioco, ammazza tutti. Non me ne frega un cazzo a me.
Doppler's salvation.
Ammazzo tutti. No, per quello che gli hanno fatto non perdono. Dove cazzo sono stato? Devo entrare qua. Dove è stato? Dove cazzo stiamo andando? Ma è questa la strada giusta? Non lo sapremo mai. Tutto sto bordello per fare il giro. Questo bordello per fare il giro più grande. Ma siamo di nuovo qua.
Late for supper.
Abbiamo fatto solo il giro. E dall'altra parte, ma come cazzo ci si arriva dall'altra parte? Qua si va. Scusa, del là come cazzo ci arrivo? Il culo e la fantasia. Aspetta, forse eccola qua. Ok, vediamo che cazzo c'è.
A brazier. This time of year? Man's footprint. The murderer's maybe. Weight on his heel. Took a step back. Human. Priscilla's.
How am I to know? Watch him, see what he does.
Che cazzo è? Cazzo è? Rompere i coglioni. Ammazza tutti. Già tutti ammazzo.
Think you got me too, huh? Up your ass, deviant! Hoes can fight back!
Calm down. I'm not gonna hurt you. What are you doing here?
Getting vengeance. Well, why are you staring? Have you not heard killers always return to the scene of their crime? Me and my brother
Io.
came here to give him
Minchia,
a
io.
warm welcome for Priscilla. Almost did her in, the whole son.
Minchia.
I know. Here to look for clues and find anyone who might know something.
Fear I can't help you much, but I can tell you what I know.
You and Priscilla friends?
Friends? Nah. But she saw more than a stupid whore in me. Treated me with respect. It mattered. I was looking to give up whoring, pick up a decent trade, but none would take me. Not as a washerwoman, nor a servant, nor a cook. Felt like a leper, I did. But Priscilla, she was different. Agreed to put me in her play, you see? Lots of the other actors, they were afraid on account of her jesting about the eternal fire. Whistling Wendy on stage, can you imagine it? Well, dream's gone now. I'm back to working street corners.
Sorry to hear that.
You could do worse as work goes. Or so I tell myself.
Priscilla wasn't the sole victim. You aware of that?
Oh, dearie. Of course I was. This didn't start yesterday. Others have died like this before. Beggars, street girls, orphans. But who'd have a drama concern about them? Human rubbish. It's what the guards call us.
Recall any names?
They didn't have proper ones. Baldy, curly, buns. That's what folk called them. No friends, no families. Their bodies were burned long ago.
Take care now. And I got a murderer to catch.
Appena lo prendo. Ah, il male. Il male. È morto di un tagliatore. Okay. Non hanno ancora inventato le parole.
Oi, Witcher! Coroner wants to see you. Been another victim.
Dio.
Told me to say the main door will be open for you. You're to come as soon as you can.
Aspetta. Aspetta, andiamo prima dal medico. Andiamo dal medico, vediamo chi cazzo è sto nuovo cadavere.
Those children. Oh, come here, hero. Give us a kiss.
Vediamo.
What is it, Grey Boy? Looking for adventure? Welcome, Master Witcher.
Che cazzo è successo?
Geralt, right? I'm glad you're here. Held off on the autopsy till you arrived.
Nice of you, especially given you didn't seem pleased about my previous visit.
Because you came unannounced and in unfortunate company. I also had Reverend Nathaniel to contend with. Our spiritual caretaker has left the city on some important matter, and I know who you are, what drives you. I'm more than happy to aid your investigation.
By the way, you and Von Gratz don't exactly get along. Why is that?
I had him sent to prison. You see, Joachim led the student protests in 1242, a senseless and brutal revolt. People were dying, Witcher. Those who rejected liberty, equality, and fraternity would be found in the gutter come morning. Their throats slit from ear to ear with surgical precision. Joachim had been my favorite student, but alas, I had to do something. So I reported him. Then I left the university and found work in the morgue, where none care about my past. Whereas Joachim, oh, fate's ironies. Years later, he was appointed head of the very ward I had founded.
How old's Von Gratz? 50? 60?
53, I believe. Why do you ask?
You look a little young to have been his teacher.
Not surprising. For years, I've lived in the cold and dark, breathing the vapors of embalming fluids. In short, working with corpses extends one's life. Amusing, is it not?
Who's the victim this time?
Joris Aquinas, a lecturer in theology at Oxenfurt Academy. Found this morning at his home on a catafalque made of his books.
Any titles in particular?
It seems all the tomes dealt with the eternal fire. Treatises critical of the faith's doctrines.
Yeah, mortal sin in Novigrad. Not fond of Nathaniel?
Very few people are. He's cruel and capricious. He stormed in here once, grabbed a scalpel I was sterilizing over a burner, sliced my back with it to the bone, because I had forgotten to lock the store. Hard to be fond of someone like that, wouldn't you agree?
Let's start.
Gladly. The wounds conform to the killer's modus operandi. The victim was bound and forced to drink formaldehyde. Next, the killer removed the eyes, placed burning coals in the sockets, then opened the rib cage and... What's this? A parchment made of human skin.
A message from the murderer. The name of his next victim. Patricia Vegelbud.
Do you know her?
Yes. Even went to her estate once with... Gotta find her, now.
Minchia. È che non ho visto la...
Till next time, Master. That's a fold to stick in.
Ma mi ha tolto lei con le corse, mi ha tolto. Ma mi ha tolto la corsa. Devo ricaricare. Mi ha tolto la corsa, cazzo. Ricarichiamo prima che abbiamo parlato con lui. $3.22. Qui.
But finding me proved no simple task. For having fallen afoul of Novigrad's underworld bosses, I'd disappeared. Yet Geralt soon discovered my whereabouts, a cell in the dungeon of the Temple Guard. With the help of our friends, Geralt managed to free me. Good thing, too, for indeed I knew what had happened to Ciri. Sadly, she was no longer in Novigrad. Pursued by bandits, then cornered by the Temple Guard, she had disappeared in a flash of light and a gust of wind. Where to? This I did not know.
Devo fare le corse.
The plague.
Okay,
Oi, Witcher! Coroner wants to see you. Been another victim. Told me to say the main door will be open for you. You're to come as soon as you can.
Perfetto. Allora, adesso faccio le corse, no? Sì. Ok, qui devo fare le corse. Niente ragazzi, andrò a fare le corse e poi continuiamo con questa storia che non mi sta piacendo. Cioè non mi sta piacendo nel senso che devo scoprire che questo è fargli del male e voglio che sia sana e salva Priscilla. Ragazzi, ci vediamo al prossimo episodio. Bella!